Have you ever wondered why you can't grow in practice? Have you ever wondered why you reach a certain level as far as patient visits or collections, and then what happens is you might stay at that level for a little while and then it tends to go down. You can't seem to break through. Well, today I'm going to show you there's 4 different styles of practice, and it'll help you identify what style of practice you're in and what to expect. And there's ways to obviously change the style of your practice, but it comes down to changing your mindset and then obviously follow through with the procedures to create the result that you want. So let's talk about this. You know, chiropractic is a beautiful profession, but it has to be something that comes from within us. We have to be able to serve the people that come to see us in a big way. Your practice should be an extension of your core beliefs. You know, you're in service to people. Let's all be honest. We're here to serve people. We're here to solve a problem that they have, and in exchange, they pay us money. And it's such a fulfilling thing as a chiropractor to be able to serve somebody in the way that it really enhances their life, whether it helps them feel better or get out of pain, or whether it helps them really find their purpose, to remove interference from the nervous system, to help them to be a better version of themselves, who they were created to be. So, but the practice that we develop has to come from something that we truly believe in ourselves. It has to be an extension of our core values. And what happens is, and I see many practitioners fall into a trap where we get handcuffed. We get handcuffed by procedures or something we've been taught in school or we learn in school, and we follow through and do that, and it starts to create an income for us, and now we're trapped. We can't let go of that income to explore something else. And what happens is, you know, sometimes we get very frustrated, or we get tired, or we feel burned out, or we feel almost resentful to some of the people that are coming in to see us because we have attracted and created people that don't fill us up. We have attracted and created people that don't fit into our core values. So let's talk about the 4 practice styles, and let's talk about what style you're in and what you can expect from that, what it's creating in your life, and certain things, what you can do to try to change that. So the first practice style is what I call a very low volume, low profit practice style. It's really a failing practice model, but unfortunately, this is the practice model that's taught in many schools. So that's what we call the, number 1 is the wantropractor. The wantropractor is the type of chiropractor that is what we call low volume, low profit. Low volume times low profit. And what happens is, if you're in this model, you're really exchanging your time for people's money. So you feel like you have to justify your care by giving people more time. So there's obviously a limit on the number of people that you can see. Most people, or most chiropractors that practice in this model, are in a very low volume model. They may only see a few people an hour. You know, maybe the most I would expect somebody could see at this level would be maybe 10 to 12 people an hour, because you feel like you have to give the people service. So let's try to identify this. Sometimes you'll see in this type of practice model, you'll walk into the room and somebody's sitting up on the table instead of lying down in position waiting for their adjustment. You may have some conversation, and in most cases, the conversation is not chiropractic. It's not about their health. It's about the weather. It's about the sports game last night. It's about something very far removed from chiropractic. But you as a chiropractor feel that you have to create that rapport with people. You have to give them that type of time to justify your service, to justify your fees. You want them to like you. And that becomes a problem, because it creates, just a limit of where you can go with your practice. So this is, as I mentioned, a very pain-based model. Typically, you are what we call treating neuromusculoskeletal disorders. Your office will typically lack systems. Your staff and yourself don't train on systems necessarily. Most people that come in will be paying as they go for each adjustment, as opposed to being on some sort of a continuity program or some sort of a care plan. So that is the first level of chiropractic practice, which is the wantropractor model. Now we can jump ahead of that and say, okay, well, to get out of that model, we have to start creating some systems in our office to start to manage those people on a bigger scale so that we can start expanding our thinking and expanding the number of people that we can see, especially if it's a single doctor office with maybe 1 or 2 staff members. So we can start creating systems even in that model to make that more efficient. But then we can jump to the next model. And the next model takes us out of that pain-based treatment type of thinking, and it becomes into a more vitalistic model. And this is what we call the Waltropractor model. So Waltropractor is coined after the term from Sam Walton, Waltropractor. And that's coined after the term from Sam Walton from Walmart. Now, this is what we call a very high volume times low profit model. So it's a low fee, high volume model. But what happens is, to get into this model, we need to start providing some education. We need to start explaining to people the benefit of chiropractic care beyond pain relief. That, that there is an intelligence in the body. There is this incredible spirit and energy that animates us, that everything runs through the nervous system. And then when our spinal alignment is off, when we have a subluxation complex, when we have a vertebral subluxation in our spine, those nerves get impinged upon. They become interfered with on some level, and now our body can't function at 100%. So not only can that cause a state of imbalance in the body, which chiropractors refer to as dis-ease, so dis-ease, and when we have dis-ease, the body is out of balance. We're not in homeostasis. And when we're not in homeostasis, what happens is we become more susceptible to infections or colds or flu, or we become more susceptible to breakdowns in pain. We become mentally susceptible to problems as far as mental illness or depression. Our body just doesn't work efficiently. We can't be the best version of ourselves. So when we start to put that education piece inside of our office and start to explain that that's what we're delivering as vitalistic chiropractors, or as chiropractors who want to practice in this model, then people start to understand that, and they start to want to come regularly to your office to have their spine checked, to receive an adjustment when it's necessary, so that they can be the best version of themselves. They don't wait until they're in pain to come into your office. And what happens if you're running a pain-based office? 2 things happen. Typically, if people are coming in pain and their major outcome is pain relief, and you haven't gone beyond to explain that chiropractic is so much more than just pain relief, what happens is when they get out of pain, they leave. They see no purpose in staying around regularly for ongoing care, to have their spine checked on some sort of a regular basis. Or the other hand is, if they have an expectation that it's going to take so long for them to get out of pain, if they're not out of pain, no matter how severe the underlying problem is, they're going to stop anyway. So if we haven't given them a reason to keep coming in on a regular basis to have their spine checked so that they can have their nervous system functioning well and have their body working efficiently, then they use that pain model as their outcome measure. And that typically takes us back to that first level of practice, the Waltropractor. But when we're in the second level of practice, we start seeing more and more people, and I've seen chiropractors see well over 1,000 people a week, 1,500 a week, 2,000 people a week, because people want to come and get their spine checked because they want to be the best version of themselves. So that is the second model, the Waltropractor model, and that's, like I said, it's coined after Sam Walton, who produced Walmart, and he had this philosophy that he would sell products at no more than a 30% markup. So it's a very low fee, but he attracted a lot of people, became one of the richest people in the world. In fact, he was the richest person in the world before he passed away, left his fortune to his 5 family members, who then were in the top 10 of the richest people in the way. Bill Gates moved into the number 1 spot after Sam Walton passed away. So this is a very profitable model. But here's one of the problems with this model is that I've seen many chiropractors get into this model, and it's a very easy way to get busy. If you're good at articulating and good at talking about the principle of chiropractic, people resonate with that. It's almost as if they've wanted to hear it and nobody's ever told them that before. And we worked in that model for many, many years, for 30 years in practice, and built a huge practice, but it takes its toll on you as a practitioner. if you're a solo practitioner, you see more and more people, you get more and more referrals, you're educating people to the benefits of chiropractic care and the principle of chiropractic. They want to bring their family members in, they want to bring their friends in, they want to refer their kids' teachers and their children's friends and people on the sports team and people from church. You have an abundance of people wanting to come and see you, not because they're in pain, but because they want the message. They want to hear that message. So you really have to be careful of determining the parameters, determining the amount of time that you want to spend in your practice. I've seen many people in this model get so busy that their practice consumes them. It becomes their number one priority in their life. They make a lot of money, but they spend most of their time. And when you spend most of your time in your practice, the rest of your life goes out of balance. So this is one thing that we have to discuss, is the fact is, if you're in this model, we have to determine boundaries to make this model very profitable, to make it efficient, but also give you the time to spend time with your family and spend time on your hobbies and other things that you value in your life. The next model of practice is what I call the entropractor model, and that is based on an entrepreneurial type of model. So entropractor, number 3, entro for entrepreneur, practor. And this is more of a high profit or high ticket model times lower volume. So this is the type of person, this is the chiropractor who's decided to become a specialist in certain things that they do. So maybe you've had some advanced training, you've gone to a seminar, you've received some advanced instruction on spinal technique or chiropractic technique, spinal correction for that matter. So maybe you have a scoliosis correction practice. Perhaps you put in some high ticket items into your office, like a decompression table or several decompression tables. Maybe you're using a high ticket modality like soft wave. So perhaps you have a nutrition program that's involved with high-end testing, where you're testing for hormonal problems or disorders or blood testing or whatnot. You can put these things in your practice. They become a higher ticket type of offer. You're charging more for them. Your ability to see hundreds and hundreds of people might diminish, but those people that see you want to see you, and they're paying a premium to come and see you. So this is the entropractor model. It's a very profitable model. It's a good model. It does free up some of your time. And now, to build on this, when you reach a ceiling of this one, that's when we have to start to recruit a team to start to do the things that, again, bring you more profit and serve more people that don't demand your time and attention all the time. So that's really the best thing in this model, is learning how to build the team to support this model and keep it going in the right direction. Which brings us to the 4th level of chiropractic practice, which is the wealthropractor model. So wealthropractor, number 4, wealthropractor, and this is where chiropractors have the opportunity to really serve a lot of people and make an incredibly big income. Wealthropractor. So what happens in this model is that you've taken a variety of things. So it might be a vitalistic practice. Maybe you see a lot of people, and you can bring associates in to your office to adjust those people and serve those people. And you're the one that's casting the big vision in your office. You're the one that's doing a lot of the educating. You're the one that's managing and inspiring your team. And then you can practice that model by adding some higher ticket items in your office. Maybe you have a decompression machine. Maybe you have a soft wave machine. You have people there to manage those things, and you're overseeing that. And then you create this model and this machine that works very, very systematically, and you can take that model and build other offices. So maybe it becomes a franchise type of model, or maybe it becomes a model where you just have multiple offices that are doing the same thing. And I've seen chiropractors build very successful, very repeatable models in the wealthropractor model and become extremely ultra successful, making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, up to millions of dollars a month as a result of this, and serving an abundance of people. Not to mention, you've laid a foundation for your team and for other chiropractors to serve their purpose within your model as well. So this is the wealthropractor model, and this is the high profit times high volume. So you've taken this exceptional model, this entrepreneurial type of model, and you've multiplied it. So they're the 4 types of chiropractic practice models. Hopefully it gives you an idea of what type of model that you're in. Now here's the thing. If you decide that the model you're in is not serving you well, if you decide that the model you're in has limitations, and maybe you're frustrated, maybe you've tried to bust through those limitations, maybe you've tried to see more people, and you're just not sure how to get to the next level, this is a great time for us to talk, because we can talk about strategies on how to get your practice to the next level. First thing it comes back to, if we talk about the be, do, have model, it comes back to the be. It comes back to your belief system. What is it truly that you believe? What are you truly delivering? And really, to change the model, the first thing we have to work on is changing the belief system. And if you can change the belief system and assume that into your core value and work that into your thinking, which then comes through in your procedures, ultimately you have an incredibly different level of success. I've seen chiropractors, as soon as they start changing their thinking, they change their model, immediately it has an effect on their practice. And I've seen practices double or triple within a period of weeks or months. It's just a case of figuring out what resonates with you, your core values inside, your belief systems, and putting that into a practical application to put into your practice to bring your practice to the next level. I'm Dr. Colin Elkin. I'll see you on the next video.